Yeah, we're live, ladies and gentlemen, out here on these podcast streets and tweets. It's going to be a very fun episode. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me just check my notes here. This is episode number 129, I believe, of the Ringside Club.
Know that.
I have the good Sir Chad Law, as always, from the car phone, and the good brother representing the BG Dub, the Black Guy Wrestling Podcast, my man Scotland, in the building. Fellas, how are we doing?
Family, what's happening?
Good to see you, my boy. Glad you could join us on this Thursday evening, man.
You know, it's crazy, man. Like, I don't go outside, so like I know how y'all go 9 o'clock, and I was like, you know what? For my brothers, I will go outside. I will sacrifice a night's sleep for greater good. You know what I mean? Like, we here, bro. I'm very grateful for y'all always, man.
Always, my brother. I'm out the gym right now. I was like, I can't, you know what I mean? No matter what, I'm always going to park up and make sure we get the episode going, man. That's just how we do in the content land, man. We don't need to be stationary in just one spot, man. We're going to make it happen. As long as that phone good, charged, you know what I mean? We're going to get these pods off no matter what. Y'all know we a bi-weekly show now. You know what I mean? More condensed a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't hear us ranting and raving about too much of the hysteria that y'all don't like and agree and disagree with online. And if you do want to engage in that, y'all can go to the Ringside Club page. Y'all can go to my page. Y'all can go to AO's page, Signature Move page, and see all of the extra content that we have with RSC and 60 and the Signature Move, where we just discuss very briefly, quick strike, our feelings on the current product as of the past week. So we don't have to sit here for an hour and a half and tell you why WWE booking is just so egregious and why this person should be pushed more and this person should be the world champion. And if we could trade this person to the moon, we'd trade him for this person to bring, like, we're not going to do that with y'all for an hour and a half as we move into these 100 episodes.
Never doing it.
You know what I mean?
Never.
Y'all can enjoy the other pods with that. This is more condensed in the 2026 for the RSC. Salute to all y'all that have been rocking with us for the last few years. Liking, subscribing, telling a friend to tell a friend. It's the almighty, man. It's the RSC. We getting it popping, whether we in the car phone, we in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Whether we in VA, you know what I mean? It don't matter. We here.
If I can interject, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I love the concept of what y'all are doing with the Nassau Coliseum series. I fucking love it. If y'all do want to hear about the current state of professional wrestling, forget all those other podcasts, man. Tap in with the Black Guy Wrestling Podcast. We are absolutely ruthless when it comes to this. We're not here to get these checks, man. We're here to get these views, right? And these views come from level
consistent content.
Y'all know how we get down, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nolo, Chaz, Lorenzo, you know what I mean? Heartbreak Julio, you know, we do the watch list, my man Cheevers. Yeah, we doing things over there, man. So, and of course, with the family as always, man. We, like I said, we RSC, BGW, family for life.
The gang.
Already.
Gang in them.
That Sunday night's main event, man. Make sure y'all tap into the Black Guy Wrestling Pod. Now, before we continue on, I appreciate the fact that Chad Law is coming from the gym right now, because I am not. This is full an adult beverage.
So the 1 week I don't got my cup handy, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. I got some water, you know what I mean? We're going to keep it clean, keep it fresh. You know
I'm getting back. Yo, low-key, I guess it's high key now if I'm talking about it on air. I'm trying to run a marathon in Philly in November.
Oh,
yeah. So
salute, my guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my enjoyment now, and then we're gonna get real serious about it. But before we get into what this particular episode is about, which is, of course, the 2008 Great American Bash, which took place from the Nassau Coliseum. This is the third episode, third review in this little series that we're talking about big events that happen at the Nassau Coliseum. So before we get into that, once again, let everybody know in eye and ears reach, this is the Ringside Club. You can check everything out that you need to know at the ringsideclub.com. We are live right now on YouTube. We are live right now on X. You can catch all of the on-demand content on the aforementioned YouTube, plus Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the audio versions. Make sure you follow us across all social media. That's, of course, on the TikTok and the IG and yeah, the YouTube and the X and Threads and everywhere else, plus the Hot 97 every day. That's my word. Go by the name of AO Bagel. You can find me everywhere you need to find me if you got a check in your hand. Chad Lowe, what's good?
It's the kid, Young Adava himself, CHADLAW, RSC's Almighty's own. You know, we out here making things happen, man. I got some new album reviews for the CL First Listen going up tomorrow. It's going to be a bunch of albums that I've been diving into. Y'all going to enjoy that. I've been backlogged like a mofo, but I got 30 reviews coming for y'all head top, so it's going to be a goodie.
Hey.
And we also got that RSC is 60. I just did a whole bunch of recaps. Shout out to the Twitter that's going dumb. I say TikTok. TikTok is where the primary attention really be. Yo, TikTok and wrestling content is like this, man. Like, literally, it's people just hopping in the comments as soon as I post just to disagree with me. That's what I just find so amusing about it. Like, yo, I can, even when I post the positives, like, yo, I big up, like, yo, I appreciate the women's tag team division right now in WWE. I've rocked with Rio. I think they needed it. It's refreshing. Mad people in my YouTube and TikTok like, yo, you serious? Yo, this is terrible. Yo, how could you enjoy this product right now? Yo, the women's division is horrible. Oh, it's like, yo, dog, I actually big the women's up, and immediately the first 5 comments was like, bad take, bro. I was like damn.
Yo, that video that we put up about, like, I was like, yeah, I think Trick is on his way. He got the charisma of the Rock. He's gonna be up there. It was a lot of yeah, for sure. And then one comment, you know how the negative comments stick?
Yes.
Y'all are both fucking idiots. I was like, oh, okay.
Like, yo, this is out of pocket, son. Like, dog.
Look, man, the IWC right now is, as a whole,
shambles.
Yeah, like it is, like we are in wicked.
How it used to be.
If you're watching live and you contributed to creating a list about why 200 wrestlers are better than Seth Rollins, like, I don't want to associate with you. I don't want to know you. You and
time.
Like, we're not doing, like, what are we doing?
Wild times, bro.
It's nasty, man.
Wild times. I think it was I forget who it was. Somebody was like, you know, y'all are not in the position to tell Seth Rollins that you know more about wrestling than Seth Rollins. Like, what are we talking about?
You know? What?
And if you don't believe that, watch that Club Shay Shay interview that he just dropped, where he gives a lot of great insight that is more, I want to say, one of his better Seth Rollins interviews. This ain't a Van Vliet. This ain't like a, you know, this ain't Busted Open. This is actually like a good Shannon Sharp interview. So I would advise it if you were a Seth Rollins guy, and I'm looking forward to his return after that interview. I will say that.
Shouts to Sethington Rollins. And of course, we have our esteemed guest who has the keys to the crib. You can get something out the fridge and anytime you want. My brother Scotland, once again, from the Black Guy Wrestling Pod. Peace to the fans.
Always love. Thank y'all, brothers, man.
So 2008, Nassau Coliseum.
What a year.
Great American Bash. How do we feel, gentlemen? Like, just overall general thoughts about this event, which I watched for the first time. I don't know if either of you distinguished gentlemen had previously watched this, but this was my first time watching this. But just like overall general thoughts before we get into the deep dive in the card, what did you think about the 08 Great American Bash?
I wanna ask y'all before, well, as a pivot, I guess, of that, where were y'all at in your wrestling fandom at this time?
So if I can say, so like, I pride myself on being a wrestling historian. Like, there's not much of the game that I don't know.
Poetic one.
Man, like, if you threw 10 million at me off rip and it was like, yo, name every main event of 2008, I could maybe name like 2. Like, this period, I have no recollection of. And like, I'm going through the card and I'm like, yo, why is it so bright? I'm like, and then like, I'm remembering like, this was like 2008 was the first year that they did HD. And I'm like, I didn't remember Big Four.
I didn't realize
that part, which I didn't enjoy. I think the commentary at this point is actually abysmal. We'll talk more about that as we go on, but I thought that was actually a very good point that you mentioned there, Scott. Like, when I saw the way that this card looked, and I think we even got it on wax. I don't know if we was recording last week. 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, as we were looking at the card, we was like, yo, Umaga, Jeff Hardy. We was like, yo, this card actually like some gun smoke here. Like, damn, like, actually kind of rock with this card a little bit. This don't look like too bad. John Cena, JBL, Batista CM Punk. It was like, yo, this card actually looked kind of right. I never saw it before. Now, keep in mind, I had dipped out of wrestling at this time period. I left summer 07, and I didn't come back until the Monday night that The Miz won the WWE title in 2010. That was my reintroduction to wrestling again, because I said, The Miz is the WWE champion? Nah, I gotta see what's going on in the WWE.
Yo, The Miz being like the conduit to return and to wrestling is
because
you remember stat, man.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. Crazy stat to say out. Like if I ever come across Miz in person, I talk to him like, yo, you high key brought me back into wrestling in 2010. Because
yo, you gotta buy that man a beer. Thank you, Mike Mizanin.
it's here so y'all know Mike the Miz Mizanin is the one who brought me back into wrestlingdom in my teenage years, high school, college years in 2010. Like,
holy moly,
crazy. Because imagine you ain't seen wrestling in 4 years, and the last time you seen the Miz, you see what he was. We gonna go through this show. Yeah. So it's like to come back and it's like, yo, I'm a WWE champion. Like, that's gotta be how somebody that saw Jinder Mahal 4 years prior to the WWE title win, and then they jumped back in and saw him beat Randy Orton and was like, yo, what's going on right
what's
now?
What's happening right
now? And like the crazy thing about like this time period in general, and like I said, this overall show, like for me, I wasn't watching WWE like that. I wasn't watching TNA. I think I was more Ring of Honor in this period. But like if it wasn't Ring of Honor, like I wasn't diving into like Japan and Mexico and you know what I mean, the rest of the indies. So like focusing on this particular show, it kind of like jogged a memory, and I was just like, yo, the one thing I remember the most about this show was the Jericho Shawn Michaels match, which we'll talk about, but everything else, like I forgot Punk won the world title prior to in 2008. Like, you know what I mean? Like these little things, I'm just like, man, this was not a good period. Not a good period. Not a bad show. I will say that, but not a good period for the game in general.
I was completely out. Like I've said this before. Like I think I was out right after. Put it this way, like I remember around the time of Austin's last match, seeing that the build was for Rock Austin 3, and I remember being out of it long enough to think when I saw that was on the card, like, damn, they're doing that again. And I remember watching it live, and then I don't remember anything else. So there's another show in this Nassau Coliseum series is going to be the SummerSlam 02 when Brock won the title from The Rock. I didn't even watch that live, so I was out before that time. And you know, we'll pop in here and there to see what was going on or whatever. So, like, yeah, I remember the Rock losing Rock beating Austin or whatever, and I didn't come back in until really the pipe bomb. Like I remember, like my little brother would send me clips all the time of just like he was getting into wrestling at the time. And because we weren't, live in the same crib, he would just send me, texts or whatever. So I wasn't watching with him, but he would send me different things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Like I remember seeing a little bit of Straight Edge Society Punk. That was really the only thing that stood out to me, by the way. Everybody seemed like they had the same kind of gear on. Everybody got the kick pads on. Everybody kind of, and then it was just like, here's this guy doing something a little different. And then fast forward, everybody knows the pipe bomb. Like that was picked up on ESPN and different major platforms or whatever. So it was like, wow.
And that's what happened. The pipe bomb is crazy because it's like right when I jumped back in when Randy Orton lost the title to Miz, the pipe bomb came only but 6 months after that. So like that was around the time. Yeah. That was 2011 because I came in end of 2010 and then right into 2011 was the CM Punk John Cena wave, and that's when they got my attention again and I came back into wrestling.
Just real quick, because now that we're talking about it, I now remember where my focal point was. This was during the period where MMA had blown up. So a lot of people had shifted from watching pro wrestling to watching UFC. So I was definitely a huge, and like I said, this was the same year Brock had debuted for the UFC. So like that was very much like, yo, this shit is fire.
Yeah.
Okay, can I press on here?
We try to keep it clean. We try to keep it clean. It's all good. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? My apologies.
Oh, you good.
PG pod. It's all good.
Oh, look, man, I'll do a G-rated one for you. I got you. But yeah, like this was during that period where like people were absolutely not watching pro wrestling. They were transitioning to MMA. And I think you can contribute a lot of things to that. Like we're 1 year removed from the Benoit tragedy. Like I said, for the sponsorship, like this was the last show that they were TV 14. Then the very next night they go to PG, and then you enter the PG era.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of people were just transitioning out. So it was, for me, I just was not connected to the product, but I could connect to mixed martial arts.
Scott,
Yeah,
that's
no,
funny
that
you
was
mentioned
that
that
was a
timeline.
yeah, that was a very, very pivotal time. And I remember like kind of getting again, UFC was always this thing like, going to Blockbuster, for example, like you would see the tapes on the shelf next to the wrestling tapes or whatever, and it's got this guy's face, the blood damn near looks like it's leaking off the box. You know what I mean? But I remember around this time it became this thing that just for whatever reason more people were talking about. You know what I mean? So I do remember that. And yeah, like 08 we're super like heavy in the blog era. This is right around, matter of fact,
This is day and night. Jim Jones.
2008, August 2008 is when I started part of my fresh as a blog. Now that I think about it, right? So 08 and then 09 is when it popped. So right around this time was like it would be no reason I was watching. I had no time to watch wrestling because I was, heavy on my blog stuff. But
Same vibes, same
interesting
vibes.
time. Very interesting time.
It's funny
All
you
right,
say that Chris Benoit show,
Yeah.
Scott, 'cause that was the last episode. That might have been the last time. Like when I said summer 07 is when I checked out, it was the Benoit tragedy because it was a Vengeance pay-per-view, then the Raw after, and then everyone didn't know what happened, and then he found out what he did, and I was like, one of my favorites is a psychopath. I think I'm gonna chill out on wrestling for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't even remember hearing about the Benoit thing in real time, to be honest.
I was still there. So I like, because people were just not sure how to react because he was dead ass supposed to have a match at that Night of Champion of Vengeance, whichever one it was, and it was no Chris Benoit, and then it was what happened to Chris Benoit, and he was dead the next day on Raw, and it was a whole thing because it hit the news mad quick. Once they found out what happened, that shit hit the news real quick. That shit hit the news. So
and the crazy thing about like I remember everything about that night, about like the Benoit thing, because it was a Monday. I remember my mom had gave me money because I was still in high school, so my mom gave me money to get food. Like I even remember what I got that night. I got chicken lo mein, right? And I used to, before Raw, I used to hop on message boards just to see like if anybody was going to debut. I knew that this was like a 3-hour show, and I remember
shout to the E-Feds, yo. Shout to anybody that had an E-Fed going on.
Great
you was
time.
an E-Fed, you was that guy. Son.
Great time. Listen, man, that's a whole different show.
Can we make E-Feds in this era? Is that even cool anymore?
Yeah, absolutely.
That don't fly.
We absolutely can.
The E-Fed is kind of fly, yo. I was heavy in the E-Fed era, man. If you was in the E-Fed, shout to you, yo.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Shout out to you. But I remember seeing the headline of what happened, and I remember very distinctly my reaction to it was very different than when Eddie Guerrero passed away. And I feel like that's such a that's became a cliche thing, like when people bring up both of them, and everybody's like, "Oh, I was sad for Eddie," but then there's Ben, and I'm like, I genuinely felt weird seeing the Benoit thing. Like it just felt like, and then I remember the tribute show starting, and like I said, the one that always stuck out with me was the Regal comment, if y'all ever remember, and like Regal's energy when he was talking about it. And I think it was the very last hour of the tribute show that they had mentioned, or that the news had started to come out. Yeah. And it definitely shifted the fandom for me. Like I was like you, Chad. Like it just felt weird watching it. It just felt weird participating in the following weeks. And then you get into, like I said, 2008, and you can clearly see they're going in a whole different direction to clean that image up. And it reflects heavy into the show.
I wish I doubled down more in TNA at this time because I was still there for Joe and Angle. But once Vince McMahon blew up in a limo and Chris Benoit like went AWOL on his family, I was like, yo, dog, I don't even know what I'm like. Now I feel like I'm just watching Animaniacs. Like I'm in high school and y'all are playing with me. Like y'all are playing with me. Where's my Rock, Austin? Like where's the good times? Where's the era? Where the vibes? Like this was a weird period. Like but post Lesnar, Goldberg, Austin, Rock, that was a strange period to be in a part of the wrestling WWE community. So here we all landed in 2008, the Great American Bash.
Great American Bash.
Big
all right, I'm gonna pull up the card. I have the card here. I have my notes here. I'm gonna just to put everybody in the time frame of what this card looked like. We had Umaga versus Mr. Kennedy. We had Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder versus John Morrison and The Miz versus Jesse and Festus versus Finley and Hornswoggle. 4-way match, tag team championships. We had Shelton Benjamin versus Matt Hardy for the U.S. title. We had Mark Henry with Tony Atlas against Tommy Dreamer with a fellow named Colin Delaney. That was for the ECW championship. So we're still in the era of WWECW. We had Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, one-on-one. Amazing feud that those two gentlemen had, and that was the longest match on this card. Michelle McCool versus Natalia for the first ever Divas Championship match. So this is the inaugural Divas Championship match, which I thought was interesting.
One of the worst belts, I think, in the history of pro wrestling, by the way.
Awful.
That is an ugly belt.
Yeah, you're not lying.
I mean, awful. You know, hated it when New Japan did it too.
Yo, I keep wish they would have kept the original one, the one Lita had, the one Lita and Trish used to have. Like that one was actually solid. Like especially when was growing up, the one from the Attitude Era, like that was some fire.
Yeah, like an actual championship belt instead of whatever this.
Toys R Us.
Yeah. 3 more matches. We had Punk versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. We had JBL versus John Cena in a New York City, but not in New York City parking lot brawl. And then we had Triple H one-on-one against Edge for the WWE Championship. So I have my notes here. This show was all over the place.
Boy, was it.
The show was all over the place. I didn't think that it was a bad show, though. There were definitely some bad matches on the show. Surprisingly, I don't think the worst match, like the Divas era, gets a lot of flack. For example, as short as that match was, second shortest on the card, that wasn't the worst match on the card to me. You know, I thought with the 4 and change that they were given, they did a really dope job.
Yeah, you hear the numbers.
It was about 4 and change, bro.
Yeah, man. Like it got that match out the way, man.
Out of the way, you know.
Real quick, fellas, what's your least favorite match before we go to the favorite
on
match?
this card?
Yeah,
my least favorite match was the main event.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Triple H versus Edge. I thought it was horrible.
That was vanilla ice cream versus vanilla milk, like just milk in general, just milk.
Yeah, and I like vanilla. Like vanilla ice cream is really good, and this did a disservice to that. This wasn't it.
This was Briars. This was Briars versus versus Haagen-Dazs.
Nah. This is store brand, bro. This is like ShopRite versus Stop and
Shop. Briars is too good.
Yeah, Briars is kind of legit. Don't do that.
It's Triple H and Edge, so you got to put some credibility on it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of credit.
No, I don't.
The absolute worst match on this show is Mark Henry and Tommy Dreamer.
That was terrible.
That match was awful. Like
I think that was a worse match, and still my least favorite match was Triple H and Edge.
That's funny that we all have different worst matches. So I want to ask this because my least favorite match of this whole card was Matt Hardy, Shelton Benjamin. That was
really
that's clunky.
I thought that was a good match.
That felt clunky, and it felt like we're just getting through here. Like it didn't feel like peak Shelton. It didn't feel like peak Matt Hardy. It felt like the MVP feud was done. The Mattitude era was done. Matt Hardy was just a regular guy. Shelton Benjamin, he's got the gold hair now. He's just floating. He's literally just floating. Like he's not the gold standard. He's trying to be the gold standard in which he becomes the gold standard, but he's not the most exciting guy because you know how he was booked at that time period. This was coming off the Big Mama. You know what I mean?
I have a theory about that. I have a theory about Matt Hardy at this time. Like, I feel, and I've always said that literally it was the year prior, Matt Hardy feuded with MVP, and I think
Fire.
that because that feud was so good, I feel like WWE was like, "Yo, we don't need Jeff Hardy all the time. We have Matt Hardy. We can make two Hardy Boys main event, and that won't gonna happen at all."
Well, Jeff was obviously always going to be higher, and Matt was just the king of the upper card.
Yeah, he would. And in my opinion, he was too high up.
He held every belt essentially, from the cruiserweight to the US to the tag. Like, Matt held every title. Jeff just had to transcend though, which was dope. Because if you would have told me in the year 2000, 2001 that Edge and Jeff Hardy would be having main event matches all throughout 2008 and 9, I would have probably been like, I guess, like, I'm too young to process this, but like, sure, maybe 10 years from now, I could believe that. But lo and behold, it did take that long for them to finally start having those main event matches. Like it takes that time and that grind. So when you got to remember some of these current guys we see right now, it might take some time for them to get to that main event status. Like, it might take 8 years after they had their big moment, spear off the ladder, that finally, be in the main event scene. Hopefully not LA Knight and other guys, but these things happen. So stay the course, wrestling fans. Just wanted to point that out. Stay the course for the point of that.
A couple of signs that I noticed in the card, in the crowd rather. Cage me with the animal. Somebody was trying to get a little too close to Mr. Batista. We had CM Punk needs an RKO. I don't think anybody really needs an RKO. I came from Ireland to see Matt Hardy is crazy, because why would you do that?
Oh yeah,
like, that's a pretty far trip. Like, I'm not the biggest Matt Hardy fan.
Look, as somebody from the UK, like at that time, ticket prices getting from here to Scotland and back, it was. I'm not spending that on Matt Hardy. Like,
Matt Hardy. Yeah. Like, yo, what's a wrestler that you would need a passport to go see? Like, not just I'm gonna take a quick drive, cross state lines, pay a couple tolls. Passport level. Matt Hardy?
I can't front. Matt Hardy had me saying I could slap a tornado in 7th grade.
Because that was a fire theme. That was a fire theme.
Yeah. Gunsmoke, the theme song. I can slap a tornado. I can climb the sea, yeah.
Who would you cross waters to see?
Michael Oku? Somebody in Japan, somebody in New Japan. I don't know. Clark Connors? Nah, he's over here. Who's the other guy? Dave Finley? Imagine if you ever hit me and say, yo, I'm going to Japan to go see Dave Finley, like, just
I'll go to Japan to see Saber.
My Dave Finley fandom is just bringing me to Japan on a random show because I got to see my boy Dave Finley. It's like, Dave Finley? He's like, nah, I don't even know Dave Finley, but that's just like, I vibe with Dave Finley the most, so I got to see him live. Like, that would probably be the current modern day comparison if you had to travel across seas to go see Matt Hardy in 2008.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, at the current state of pro wrestling, like, there's not that many wrestlers I'd be even willing to make a drive for. So even say, like, on an internet, I get. You know what? If I was to say internationally, I would pay money passport to go see Mystico. I would do that.
Yeah,
I would sit in the crowd for that.
I would be in the crowd for that.
One of my boys.
Yeah.
One of my boys went to Mexico. Not a wrestling fan at all. He's a photographer, so I'm not sure if he was down there for work or just down there to chill, but he's definitely not a wrestling fan. Found himself at Arena Mexico and said, bro, you have to go. Like, you have to go to Arena Mexico. Like, and that's the thing. I hear that a lot. Like, a lot of people go to Arena Mexico, and it's not necessarily because they're even wrestling fans. It's just a thing to do, and they end up having like an amazing time down there. So me, I would absolutely go down there to see Mystico for sure.
Yeah, but outside of that, nah.
Definitely not Matt Hardy.
No.
We had JR and Mick Foley as a commentary team. Justin Roberts was the ring announcer. This must have been like, I know Mick Foley did commentary, and this must have been like one of the 15 or so shows that he did, because I know it wasn't all that long, but I remember him saying that while he enjoyed it and really wanted to do more commentary, he couldn't deal with Vince being in his ear. But listening to this, I thought he was pretty good, man.
He had his moments.
He was a little dry, but I thought he was good. It feels like a guy that was just trying commentary out and really hadn't found his sea leg, so to speak. But I thought he was pretty good. Like there's a certain credibility I think that Mick Foley brings to the table because everything Mick Foley's been through as a wrestler. So the insight was interesting.
I feel like with Mick as a commentary, like in a different world, if there had been like a second big promotion, like he would have fit like the commentary role like Bryan Danielson does for Dynamite. Because like you said, like Mick is a very intelligent guy. Like he knows pro wrestling in and out. I think having Vince in his ear like held him back. Like if they had like I think shortly after this he went to TNA. If he had commentary on TNA,
literally right after.
I'd have been like, this show was the straws. Like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, right. But for this particular show, it very much felt like he was just like he was getting his feet wet. He wasn't. I think he played off of JR well. But you could definitely tell with JR was quickly getting out of his prime during this time. Like this wasn't like prime JR. Like it was good, but it wasn't. And like nothing stood out in commentary from that commentary.
I agree. Their pairing wasn't
across all three commentary teams. There was just a level like this kind of a straight line. It was a little bland. Especially like imagine me coming back into this, with Jerry Lawler. First of all, Jerry Lawler and JR both being on commentary, but not being on the same team. Like, all right, if you were like everybody, loves that commentary team because the handcuffs was off. Like they were just saying whatever and they were playing off of each other in real time. And you go to this and the energy, like there's very few times where the energy gets anywhere near what it used to be. Across all three, like Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, and then you had Taz and I think Mike Adamle.
Mike Adamle is
commentary team.
Mike
Adamle sounded like he was reading the script the whole time.
Mike Adamle is 100% the worst of the whole batch by far.
Oh, out of that crew for sure. Not even close.
Man. Greatest general manager of all time.
Mike Adamle?
Absolutely. Jeff Harvey, Jamaican Me Crazy. Like what? Like bars.
God. Somebody pull up the Mike Adamle blooper tape.
Come on, man. Like, yo, like Mike was the Joe Tessitore of his era.
Nah, he might have been the other guy. Who's the other guy that didn't last?
Oh, he was. I know you're talking about. He was there for a quick 15 minutes, like maybe a month.
Cup of coffee.
He was on Raw, right?
Yeah.
Who was he?
Like recently, like in the last couple of years, he was like a dude that was on Raw for like I can't remember his name.
Oh man,
and it was a simple name too, not Advin Kirkman, but the other guy. It might have been one or the other.
Oh wait, you know what? Was he bald?
Yeah, I think it was that guy.
He was an MMA commentator. I think I know. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but like I remember.
He gave me those vibes. He took me back to that guy.
Yeah.
Like Mike McDonald or something. Mike Douglas. Joe Douglas.
Man said Michael Michelson.
Around the corner pro.
Around the corner pro. Yo, was the Umaga Mr. Kennedy match on whatever y'all watched? Because I didn't catch that.
Nah, that was strictly dark match.
Okay.
I was gonna ask y'all, was Sunday Night Heat still a thing? Like, you know how like Sunday Night Heat used to have like
the lead in.
Yeah, it was fake. It was fake there. It wasn't like what it used to be back in the day with WWF World, but it was still fake there though. They had to get everybody right because they wasn't doing like the way pre-shows is now.
Why would you not put that like Umaga and Mr. Kennedy? Why would you not put that on?
Because this was when they was phasing Mr. Kennedy the F out.
Is it? Oh, okay.
It was like, yo, you are gonna be going to TNA shortly, so we're not even wasting airtime on you, champ. Sick times it was.
Yo, that match, the Umaga Mr. Kennedy match where Umaga beat him, that was shorter than Michelle McCool and Talia.
That's pretty much been. I told you he's on his way out. Like that was
an even 4 minutes, and Michelle McCool versus Natalia was 4:14.
So you telling me that's going to be Brock and LA Knight at WrestleMania?
Oh man,
Under 4? Yeah, I see the vision. I see what's going. I see what's happening. I see. I see what's happening.
Well, here comes the pain.
Here comes the pain. We got that tag team title match. That's the first show on this card. 4-way match. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, LI's own. John Morrison and The Miz with horrible pants. Jesse and Festus. And then Finley and Hornswoggle, which no lie, the Finley and Hornswoggle pop was like top 5 pops of the night. Like they got the most crowd response in this match by far. And like of the night, they weren't that far behind a couple of other notable names, man. I was surprised to see like
Hornswoggle was the most
with the hot tag.
That's what they wanted to see, man. That's where the state of WWE was, where Hornswoggle was the hot hand, man.
Yo.
That's really what was doing it for me, because they was bringing Hornswoggle in when I was kind of just still on my way out, and I was just like, yo, dog, because Finley just popped up. Like Finley came through, and I wasn't familiar with Finley's game until around like 2006 when he started to show up more frequently, and he was just a heel that was just, he was the Drew McIntyre and you know what I mean, before Drew got his footing in. But Finley was cool, and Hornswoggle for the most part, he tried his damnedest, and they always just made sure to just push him away and treat him like he was really miniature, like at any chance they could get. Like that match to me though, overall, I'm going with my man Festus, Doc Gallows. I said it right, it's Doc Gallows, right? I'll say Doc Anderson.
Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows.
Doc Anderson. I was like, I think of Doc Anderson.
Man said Doc Dawkinson.
Hey, listen.
Yo, he had moves. He had moves though. He had moves that whole match though. I can't front. Some of the reviews that I was reading on PW Torch and such, they wasn't really excited about the match. They said the match was just throwaway tag. But me watching it for the first time, I was like, nah, where is this Doc Martin? Like, where is this Doc? Where's this Dr. Doolittle at, man? Because he's moving around the ring like he's moving like a cruiserweight. Like his moveset was crazy. And the Festus gimmick, I wasn't a fan of it. You know what I mean? Because of just the way it was portrayed at the time. Crazy era that was. But
yeah,
I loved Jesse and Festus. It was great. In fact, I loved the gimmick and the team so much that recently, when if you watched MLW Battle Riot,
ML Dub,
and Doc Gallows came out as Festus, I popped. I was in my room going crazy. I was like, yo, biscuits and gravy 2026 all day vibes, man. I was so, and then when the belt, oh yeah. Fun fact about Jesse and Festive, their original gimmicks, when like I remember in the dirt sheets at the time, their original gimmicks were supposed to be a repackaging of the Godwins. So like they were supposed to have, they actually signed Henry O. Godwin to a contract, and they were supposed to be like Henry O. Godwin and then his sons. But then I guess they were like, yo, that's stupid for this time period.
Yo, Sons of Hog is crazy.
And we already got through Eugene. The Eugene era was brutal. So I think let's not go back to that too much.
Eugene, you know what I mean? This was after Eugene? When was Eugene?
Eugene was 2004.
Yeah.
That was Bischoff, right?
Yeah, Eugene was wavy. That was a wavy time, yo. Yeah, but as far as that match, I think having the hometown guys who are heels win, I thought was just a little wavy of a choice there, but you know.
Hawkins and Ryder for the hometown win, man. You know. Yeah. Man, Jesse looked like, remember son from High Voltage in WCW that had the blonde hair?
Yeah.
He kind of looked like him a little bit. Yeah. Like some kind of mix between him and Pete Dunne.
Bro, I honestly keep forgetting that Jesse is Terry Gordy's son.
Yeah.
Like every time I see him, I'm like, he's somebody's son. I just can't remember. Because, you know, Terry Gordy was like a big guy. And
yeah. And their body type ain't nowhere near.
At all. Yeah. I thought the match was great. I thought it was like very entertaining. Like you said, like it broke my heart to see Finley come out in a bowler hat. I wasn't. I was just like, yo, what are they doing to my
This guy
man?
What are
looks
they
like a
doing?
character from Hey Arnold.
But like, but again, like the pop surprised me. Like they were Finley chants, which at no other point in Finley's career do I remember hearing Finley chants.
No, like you look at
He's been in Money in the Banks.
yeah, like you look at Finley, like he just has that type of face that you just like, yo, I'm gonna boo you.
On the Buddhist man,
But Hornswoggle was like he like top five baby face in the company at this time.
wild time, bro.
My name is Finley, and I love the fight.
Love the fight.
Come on.
Yeah, man. We had the United States Championship on the line. Matt Hardy was the champ. He was defending against Shelton Benjamin.
The gold
Very
standard.
hot crowd for this match.
I will die on the hill that this version of Shelton Benjamin was your world champion material. Like I feel like if they had gotten behind him just a little bit more, Shelton easily could have been like the prime setup for the US title into the world heavyweight title. I still to this day I don't understand. And like, you know what I mean? Like I felt like he took it serious, like he dyed the hair gold, um, had a little bit more dense physique. And then, you know, obviously he was incredible in the ring. Matt, you can kind of tell, was in that period where, like I said, like he's a good in ring hand, right? But that's all Matt was going to be at this period. Like there was no way. Like if Matt had won this match, I would have been shocked.
See, me like not knowing what any of the lead up was outside of whatever video packaging, I was actually surprised in reverse. Like I was surprised that Shelton Benjamin won because it always seemed like, you know, Matt Hardy was one of those guys that are just going to be booked to win things, and Shelton Benjamin is just not booked to win things. I thought this was a good match. Like I know, Chad, like you mentioned, this really wasn't your favorite match of the night. I thought it was good. It was a nice back and forth. I think the crowd definitely helped it. Like they were dueling chants for Shelton and Matt Hardy at different times. So a hot crowd is never going to hurt a match. But I thought the action was really good. And in general, there were matches on this card that I wish the action in some of today's WWE, especially TV, would follow. Just the pacing and looking like you're trying to win a match. Like this should be a physical struggle. This is supposed to be, you know, a dramatic portrayal of a real sport. And so many times somebody gets clothesline and they just roll over to where the next spot is going to be. And then you hit the next spot and they roll, you know, this looked like a bit of a struggle. You know, yeah, it wasn't the smoothest at certain times, but this looked like two guys trying to do whatever they could to win a match. You know what I mean? So I appreciated the match. I enjoyed the pacing. I enjoyed the fact that it looked like it was two guys really trying to beat each other.
To your point, that whole show, what I noticed the difference from watching current product to then, the quality, the storytelling, the way things really felt more real.
Yeah.
Then.
Yep.
Like now everything really does feel like a stage show in comparison, especially watching that 2008 show. Like really, like the clunkiness that I found in that match, I've seen worse in modern day. And that's just me nitpicking at that match because I know where they were. Attitude Era, Gold Standard, Shelton Benjamin, the Intercontinental title run. This is them getting drafted. I think Shelton got drafted to SmackDown. So that's why he won the U.S. title. And then Matt pretty much had nothing going on. He was just in limbo post MVP feud, from what I gathered. And that was a hot feud. I like that feud. Like, that's a feud that I caught wind of in 07. And I was like, all right, I'm rocking with this. Like, I like MVP's character was always dope to me. So I rocked with that feud and him and Matt Hardy. And, you know, I'd say from there, the tag team that he ended up forming with MVP, I think that would have worked if they would have kept winning. You know what I mean? That would have been fire. Shelton Benjamin wins the U.S. title. I don't know what happened after that. I didn't follow up, but overall, that was probably my least favorite match of the night, just because of the caliber that I know both those guys can go to. You know what I mean? And I just didn't really feel like it was the best work. It did feel just too clunky to me. And that wasn't even the worst, because I really didn't like that women's match, and we'll get into that too, even for 4 minutes.
Man, like we'll get there when we get there. We got, I think, two more matches before we get to that women's match. So that was the U.S. match. We had Shelton going over and new U.S. champ. First two matches on the card, we had new champs. We did not have a new champ after this next match. This was the ECW championship match. We had Mark Henry, who was the defending champion, Tony Atlas in the cut. We had Tommy Dreamer. We had a fellow named Colin Delaney, who I had never seen before.
And you
I
won't see
don't
it
think
anymore.
I've ever seen him again, but he was in the corner of Tommy Dreamer. He was apparently his protege at this time.
So Colin Delaney at this time is wrestling for Chikara up in Pennsylvania and Philly. And
So he just had a knee surgery or something like that.
something like that, yeah. And I remember his gimmick at the time is like he would come to the ring. I think it was Taz would interview him. Like it was kind of like they were trying to do the 1, 2, 3 gimmick, but like Khali would come out, Mark Henry would come out, Kane would, like all the big guys. And then he was like, "Yo, I need a mentor," and he picked Tommy Dreamer for some reason. And this was like, so one day
I remember this ECW TV, yo. Oh
terrible,
my god,
terrible Tuesdays, man. Like everything about
I
ECW.
remember this.
Yeah, and like one day, whether it's on, if I come back on here or if I talk about it on the watch list, I will explain why I dislike Tommy Dreamer with a passion. And so everything Tommy Dreamer does is automatically the worst thing on the show for me. So this match.
How far back does this dislike? Does it go back further to the ECW days, or is it just like the era of WWE?
Oh, bro, I was a Raven fan to the
Raven
max.
guy. Okay.
Like
makes sense. Quote the Raven.
Nevermore. You know what I mean? Like, and so like I was always for Tommy Dreamer suffering heavy. Like I didn't want to see Tommy Dreamer win.
Kill him in the ring. Kill him now.
Oh, you just you power driver him on the concrete. Do that again. This match was terrible. Like Mark Henry at this time, and it's crazy because at this point, Mark Henry has been in WWE since '96, and we're still, I think, 4 years away from like the world title run and like the Hall of Pain and like the Mark Henry that we become fan of. I did like Mark Henry's pairing with Tony Atlas. I thought like having a strong man like Tony Atlas be like the mentor to Mark Henry was great. This match, the chemistry was just completely
was not there.
Awful. It was awful.
That was the worst thing about this match. Like sometimes guys are dance partners, sometimes they're not. These guys weren't even close. You know what I mean? Like weren't even close to being dance partners. I thought it was interesting. Like this looked like maybe, I'd have to go back and watch different things around this time, but what Mark Henry would eventually become that we know him as, like the Hall of Pain, like you mentioned, this looked like maybe the beginnings of that, or around the time where he was starting to put some of the pieces of the puzzle together. Because Mark Henry went through quite a few, different gimmick changes and outfit changes. He was always the world's strongest man. That's the one thing that was consistent. But there was the Olympic guy, then there was sexual chocolate, then there was this, then it was that. This wasn't the mean guy right around, 3-4 years later.
This was generic black guy.
Yeah, he was still like, kind of chill. He did have the one thing that I did like about this was Mark Henry knew that Tommy Dreamer was not a threat, and he treated him as such, especially in those opening moments. He was pushing him. He's like, "Yo, what are you gonna do to me? You're not gonna do anything. You can't do anything to me." So that attitude I thought was kind of dope, and then just kind of fell off a cliff from there. This was not the match. I don't know why Tommy Dreamer, aside from being an ECW original, would be in a world title match, even if it was the ECW world title.
So deflating once that actually popped up next. I was like, man.
See, he was so deflating that he just lost service. There you go.
Yeah, I was deflated with that match. I ain't gonna lie. I was with you. I like the fact that he really was just like, "Yo, dog, I'm not rocking with anything you trying right now. Like this ain't happening." But the quality of the match, because you saw it was Tommy Dreamer. That's what just happened for me. It was just like, man, this is what's happening. This is the title match right here. It's Mark Henry and Tommy Dreamer.
That's what the internet wrestling community needs to do. Let's name 200 wrestlers better than Tommy Dreamer. I'll spearhead that project. Might even do it tonight. I got time. No worries.
Tomorrow on Busted Open.
Yeah. The response from Tommy Dreamer.
Hey, look, I'll go live on the BGW channel right after.
You could go viral immediately and just wave up Tommy Dreamer's whole schedule on Busted Open tomorrow.
Look, I'll tag him and everything.
Yo, I can't lie. I feel like Bully Ray would be down to name 200 wrestlers better than Tommy Dreamer too.
He would probably jump in and just be like, you know what?
He'll carry you from at least like 125 to 175. I got 50 for you.
He gonna say someone from Japan that AO ain't even heard of. Like, yo, word? Yashisora Kuji? Yo.
Excuse me. Oh man.
Yeah. This was the third shortest match of the night. And in that case, that was a good thing. The night picked up. We got Jericho versus Michaels. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. Fellas, was this the second match? Because I know they had a trilogy of matches, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we had gotten to the part where Jericho punched Shawn's wife.
That was the SummerSlam.
Yeah, this was leading up to the SummerSlam.
Yeah, we're already in a pretty tense feud, and the way that these guys played it out from the entrance was dope. You know, no smiling. We ain't really dancing like that. We just ring the bell so we can get busy. Longest match of the night, Justified. I thought this was dope. You know, I thought this was dope. You see the game plan change a couple of times, like knowing that Shawn Michaels has his obvious back injury and his history of back injuries, but then eventually going, you know, for the eye. We know that Jericho injured Shawn's eye prior. Shawn really shouldn't have been cleared to wrestle this match, and you saw how that played out. And just, you know, I do think Shawn Michaels definitely walks the line of being very dramatic, like overly dramatic from time to time. And there were a couple of moments I'm like, yo, bro, just chill out a little bit. Just, you're on 11. If you bring it down to 8, we're cruising. You know, we're on cruise control. But that's nitpicky stuff, man. This was a fire match, best match of the night in my book.
I feel because of current perception, I think people have a tendency to forget how excellent Chris Jericho can be.
Yep.
And to me, this version of Chris Jericho was like, I would put him high on like the best heels ever. Like there's a moment in the match that, like, you know, AO was alluding to, like the blood start trickling from the eye, and Jericho doesn't see it at first because, you know, Michaels, when he comes back in the ring, he's bloody. Jericho doesn't see it because he has his back turned. So then when Michael starts like hitting a comeback, Jericho like hits him, and then he realizes that his eyes bleeding. And the look of Jericho's face, it was like
the wheels turning right then and there. You see the light bulb go over above his head,
and then it was like it's the psychology of the heel working the injured body part.
Yep.
Jericho worked that eye to the max. I also want to give a shout out because it was dropped quick, but I love the inclusion of Lance Cade in this feud, because Lance Cade was trained by Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? Obviously, Lance had some personal issues, but like I thought he added a great ripple to the
thunder.
Yeah, man. But this match was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
You know, I wrote down in my notes that I thought the inclusion of Lance Cade, I thought was unnecessary. Like,
wild unnecessary.
Like, I don't think they needed it. Like, I see the role that he played in the match, but I don't really think like if you take him out, I don't think the match changes. You know what I mean? So in that case, if you have like, you know, a third party in a match, if it's not changing something really of real significance, I thought it was just kind of extra. Sidebar: very early in the match, Shawn Michaels went for a figure 4. I don't think I've ever seen Shawn Michaels successfully nail a figure 4.
No.
Like, it's the strangest thing. Like, you have a guy who is so crisp and on point, 10 out of 10 on so many things, except for the figure four. From his Undertaker matches, find me when Shawn Michaels successfully hit.
He was fresh off that Ric Flair match. He was trying ish. He just wanted to just, you know what I mean? It's like,
He never puts the leg over the leg. Like, it's just the strangest thing.
It looked like trying to just work like an action figure, like trying to do a figure four.
It turns into like, I don't know, a heel hook, and it's never really like a heel hook. He's just turning your leg, like he's just crossing your legs at that point. But nah, yeah. So the I love the intensity of this match. I thought was just, again, from the entrance, and you can tell it might have been this match. It might have been at some other point. Let me see if I can find out who's on commentary here. Cole and Lawler were on commentary. So Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, and I believe it was this match where one of them just, mentioned how much they like a good lockup. Like I've heard a lot of wrestlers mention this, like just the intensity, the seriousness. You can tell from the way the two guys lock up. There's no holes there. These guys are really, really trying to battle. I don't know if it was this match or not, but it just reminded me of it because the intensity of this match was off the charts.
By far, match of the night for me.
Yeah.
One of the feuds of the year for me. One of the best feuds of all time for me. Underrated. Because I was there live in 2003 when Jericho and Michaels had their first match at WrestleMania. And I wasn't present, actually, in Seattle, but I did order the pay-per-view live. So I was watching the whole build-up for that feud. And then even down to the match quality, looking back on it as I got older, I was like, this match is really, really good. I'm talking about that WrestleMania match, the first time match, down to when Jericho hit him with the low blow after the match, and everyone was just like, yo, this guy's a prick. Like, fast forward. Now, again, I was tapped out, so I didn't realize that Jericho came back. So I wanted to do some homework, and I just saw how this got to this point of them reuniting and having another feud. So as it turns out, Batista was avenging Ric Flair's retirement. And he was just sick, and he was like, yo, I'm just going to hurt you, Shawn Michaels. And so he has a match at Backlash. He beats him. I want to say I'm pretty sure he beats him. Then they have another match, a stretcher match, I believe it's a stretcher match. And Jericho is just there. I believe Jericho's a referee at one of the matches. So Jericho is just there in support. You know what I mean? He's just returned. And now Shawn Michaels, okay, all right, I'm getting it back now. I'm running it back. Michaels faked an injury at Backlash and ended up beating Batista. Jericho was a referee. Jericho realizes after the match, like, yo, nefarious means, man. I'm not liking what you did here. And Shawn's just injured. His knee, he's buckled, but everyone's kind of like, yo, we're not buying this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't really buying this, Shawn. Like, that's where Batista's like, yo, I'm gonna really hurt you now. And then from there, it spirals into Jericho after Batista and Shawn wrap their feud up, to Jericho just being like, you know what? You are a dastardly guy, Shawn Michaels. You are a cheat. You are an evil person. And that's where this whole feud started to just spawn into. And right till it gets to this point of this match, you see the intensity. I haven't seen many Shawn Michaels matches in my lifetime where he doesn't come out to the ring smiling.
Yeah, there was no dancing. He didn't hit the pose. Like,
he might have smiled at SummerSlam 02 against Triple H. He might have smiled at Armageddon 03 against Triple H. And I'm talking about like blood feuds, like at the entrance. This one was a time where I was like, I can't think of a time where I haven't seen Shawn Michaels like looking like all cocky. Like, he looked like, yo, I'm actually about to put the hurts on you.
Yeah, right.
Like, you hurt my eye. You put me through this glass shatter. Like, it's one of the best glass shatters I've seen in wrestling history, through the screen, which pretty much got that is what got it to this point of where his eye was just messed up because his things were getting out of control because of that glass.
Which is a nice full circle because of what he did to Marty.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love the continuation of the eye being a focal point in this feud because, like I said, the following month at SummerSlam, Jericho punches Shawn Michaels' wife and he hits her directly in the eye. You know what I mean? Which I was, from what I understand, was like not planned
Yeah.
of how hard he was supposed to hit it. But like even down to like that story, like you're just continuously adding the intensity and it's ramping up at that point. And I feel like that's a lost art in today's wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like grateful that you got like your Hangman, your Swerve feud. But then like you really think about like this feud was so intense, and this wasn't for a title. You know what I mean? Like it didn't become part of the title until the very last match. This
You
is
know, I always thought the eye situation, I went a little deeper and I found out like, yo, not too long earlier, like 2 years prior, Shawn Michaels' eye got cocked in a match with Kane. So I always just found it interesting. I didn't do the correlation if it's the same eye that Jericho was focusing on, but I'm pretty sure it is the same eye. But that, what I thought was really interesting, I was like, man, like this guy's evil. Like he knows that's his messed up eye, and like he's just like having his way with it already. It's just like every which way with the punches, just relentless. And of course, did y'all know this tidbit? This was the match that tipped the scale because, as we know, the PG era started right after this. Like they were immediately like, "Yo, no more of this. Like no more blood. Like this ain't happening. Like this is the last
This
match.
was the match that did it.
This was the match that did it." Because right after it was PG. Like they switched right over immediately, and they were just like, "Yo, we're about to do this, and y'all are doing this." Like
I could see that being a Sean call to go a little extra hard with the blood. And like Sean seems like the kind of guy that like knowing, reading the tea leaves. Oh, this is the direction y'all going. All right, cool. We about to go in tonight.
yes, that's pretty much where they're like, all right, y'all getting fined now. Like y'all blade anything hard way, like we hitting your pockets. Like they was not playing. So this was that brutal of a match because when you look it up on some WWE official outlets, it's a lot of gray. You know what I mean? They gray it out a lot. So it's definitely a brutal match. It's probably up there as far as like Eddie Guerrero 04 blade jobs. Like easily. Like the one from Judgment Day with JBL. Like I saw that one on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was hard. Like, one of these days we could do a run through of Eddie Guerrero's best moments or a 2004 walkthrough because
look,
top 5 blade jobs even like that was a
Top tier motor scale, man.
Yeah,
listen,
that
sometime
Shawn Michaels one was elite. That was a crazy paint job of the ring.
sometime
Eddie Guerrero was crazy.
Sometime in March, I'll do a JBL Eddie Guerrero Judgment Day watch list. Y'all come through.
Ooh.
Yeah, y'all come through
That's
for that.
A sleeper. I was there for that. I've really seen it. I've really seen it, yo. Wavy times, but yeah, really quality match. Best match of the night. It's crazy. Like that could have main evented, but you definitely gave the people their money's worth with that match. Like if anything else, if us in present day Long Island, New York time was at that show, we would have been like, yo, match. Card was mid, but that match though, yo.
And like ending on a ref stoppage.
We saw a classic in real
time. But not only the match itself, but the ending of the match being a ref stoppage.
Yes.
That's rare. You know what I mean? This wasn't even like a sleeper hold where some passed out or a submission or anything like that. The ref is now deciding that you are not physically fit to continue this match, which to your point, Scotland, even the vibe and culture around this time of UFC being on the way up, we see ref stoppages are just, commonplace. Ref decides this ain't it for you anymore. You got to the back you go.
Yeah.
And
Shawn Michaels was not physically fit according to the ref, where is unique. And I think like it could be something that happens more often. I wouldn't kill it. I wouldn't do it to death, but it's just very believable, especially if you're trying to sell a specific injury to a body part like Shawn's eye in this case. I can't in good conscience as the referee allow you to continue this match even if you want to.
You were there for a moment if you were there live. Shout out to anybody that was actually at Nassau Coliseum on that day to see this show live because you saw a moment. You saw a very, very historic moment.
And a real dope continuation and a very, very fire feud, which I wouldn't mind going back just to revisit, each step of that feud also. All right, speaking of heel hooks, the next match ended in a heel hook submission. It's about 4 minutes. It was the first ever Divas title match. It was Michelle McCool versus a redheaded Natalia Neidhart. Uh, you know, I
There are
mentioned earlier,
matches.
like,
There are matches.
yeah, there are matches, but again, like just thinking about the one good thing I can say about this match, it was for like you really can't say much about this match because it ain't last long enough to say anything. You know, there's no real takes. But if intensity was the theme of the night, or at least the theme of the previous
Yeah.
match, like they kind of went for it a little bit, knowing that they really had, this small of a window of time to actually go. I think they did what they could do with the time, and it didn't look cute. It looked like two women really trying to become the first champion, So from that standpoint, I can appreciate that part of the match. Other than that, it really wasn't anything notable. Natalia didn't have blonde hair. Other than that, I thought it was more notable that the match ended, and during the celebration, Chris Jericho comes back out to talk more trash about Shawn Michaels.
That
It's
was
like, this is the first ever title. I'm supposed to take it serious. And here comes Chris Jericho, like, yeah, so the match you saw before this match, let me tell you about that guy.
yo. That's where I was like, yo, this whole match is just buried. Like they
Throw it
put
out.
this match under.
Yeah, it never
They
happened.
put this whole title. The title was hideous. One of the worst belts in the history
Yeah,
of belts, by far. That Divas Championship. I really wish they would have kept on to that Attitude Era. You
women's
know what I
champion.
mean? Women's Championship, the one that Trish Stratus held, Jacqueline. Like that was a tough belt growing up for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that Divas Championship, it was a hell of an era, man. They tried. They gave it a valiant effort. Like if anything, I was with the knockouts. I thought the knockouts division on the TNA side was rocking. So like I was over there for the most part if I wanted to catch women wrestling. Like outside of just the sphere of Trish Stratus, Lita, Mickey James at one point, and then insert the new girls. Because there really wasn't much. Like
Yeah.
there really wasn't much competition, yo. Like Victoria, like you can name like the 5 women that actually like were prom. So it's crazy to see how far we've come, and it's really good to see the progress that was made with the women in general. To see that we're main eventing, you know what I'm saying? We seeing them having their own shows. Evolution, Nassau Coliseum. That's another
Nassau
one coming up.
Coliseum.
That's
That's
another one
coming up.
coming up,
That
yo.
one's gonna be fire.
Coming
That
up.
one's gonna be fire.
Another one
But I
coming
feel
up.
like like at this time, like the women's wrestling in North America was the knockouts, and for people that bought the Shimmer DVDs, right?
Right.
Uh, and like I said, Shimmer just had phenomenal wrestling just in general, but obviously nobody's seeing it. But then you looked at the TNA knockout division, like Gail Kim, Awesome Khan, putting an historic feud on, right? And then you look here and like, and it was funny because like I was trying to fast forward through the entrances because I saw this before we went live, so I was fast forwarding, and then I saw the redhead person come out. I was like, who the hell is that?
Who is that?
I was like, I know that was Michelle McCool, but who's the redhead? And then I scrolled back and I was like, Natalia had red hair? What? I was like, oh, I was like, she really trying to be her dad. That's what's up.
Yep.
But in 4 minutes, you could just tell like they just trying to get it in, man. Like, but you could tell also it from the company standpoint, like this was obviously placed after Shawn Michaels and Jericho because it was not important to
No, not at all. So
you
much
know,
so we came back out.
This was
yeah,
the sorbet.
yeah,
This was
nasty.
very much the sorbet. Yeah. Not much to say, but
All was said.
for what it's worth,
Not much to say, but all was said.
yeah. For what
Moving
it's
along.
worth, that the first ever Divas title match took place at the Nassau Coliseum. That's the biggest takeaway that I got right here.
Y'all want to be in my comments talking about Io Sky and Rhea Ripley is an abomination to wrestling right now. All right, man. All right,
You
man.
got it. You got it.
You got it. We have 2 more matches to go on this Great American Bash card. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk
We got 3.
versus Batista. I like the story of the lead up. Very simple story. Edge was the world champ at the time. He's talking super trash on Raw. Batista beats him up. Punk, who's the money in the bank briefcase holder, he cashes in, he wins that title. And the part that I really like is Batista feels as though he's owed a title shot because he did the work for CM Punk. to come and collect that title, you know. So here we are, like I beat him, and you just happen to, you know, collect the spoils. And here we have a match, Batista trying to get that world title from CM Punk. Fellas, what say you?
They treated Punk like a scrub this whole title reign. Punk's early world title reigns were like
awful.
Who's comparable? Who's comparable to that right now? Bryan Danielson, I guess, was like Punk was the precursor to the Bryan Danielson title reigns. Maybe, possibly.
Say that.
Nah, like
I
the
mean,
early
in
title
WWE.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson had a 12-second title reign. If I'm
Oh,
not
that
mistaken.
one. Okay, then yes.
Yeah, in
Or he lost the title
WWE,
in 12
they
seconds.
treated him like, matter of fact, they said this. Commentary team said this was like, you know, Punk's the champ, but he's the underdog. Like they verbatim said it, you know, I'm going with Batista.
Yo, fam, JR said this is the richest prize in the game in regards to Triple H's WWE title, but Punk was
Well,
like,
I mean, that's a whole different
Look,
whole different.
It is, this reign was so bad. Like, I think people forget CM Punk never lost the world title. Like, he was like, I think it was a few months after this, they did the championship scramble at Unforgiven.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who. I want to say it was Jericho. No, somebody took CM Punk out. It took CM Punk out of the match. So, like, CM Punk never officially lost the world heavyweight title because they inserted Chris Jericho in it. That's what they thought of CM Punk in his title reign. I feel like this.
That's what they thought.
Yeah, and I
well,
feel
let you get pinned. We're just gonna take you out the match. Don't even worry.
like you're not even worthy of getting in this match.
Yeah,
I feel bro. If there was ever a clear indication of the company testing CM Punk and like seeing if he was going to leave or not, it was this title run.
Yeah.
Didn't main event any of the shows, if I'm not mistaken. Like even down to like Punk's like aura at this time, like he just didn't. This wasn't CM Punk to me. Like this was Phil Brooks.
This is we will humble you, basically.
Absolutely,
we will humble you.
You know what? It's like I was coming off the CM Punk from Ring of Honor, the summer of Punk, where he just went crazy with the world title in Ring of Honor, and then he jumped over and he became a WWE guy and he was building through the ranks. So I was watching his progress through that ECW run and all of that, and it was kind of dope to see him get to this point, but it felt so unbelievable. Like people didn't buy into the vision yet. He still felt like the newbie, like to Scott's point. Like he just didn't really feel like the main event guy, and it was treated that way. It was like, yo, here's the world title because you hot. You the new hotness right now, so here you go. Yeah. But now sink or swim. And this match per se, it was just subpar. It was, I mean, I say the worst because I've seen Batista have better matches. I've seen Punk have better matches, but it was just an okay match in regards to the way things were going. Execution was good. I like some of the way that things were held when it came to Punk actually putting maneuvers on Batista, but Batista was still, you know, a behemoth at the time. You know, Batista was still making sure that he was getting his moves in. Like, no matter what, Batista's going to get his ish in. I mean, the main event, well, I don't say the main event, the main ending with Kane, though, and that double DQ, like, that was just terrible. Like, how was it a double DQ? Like, that's what messed it up for me. Like, how did we get to a double DQ when he didn't even touch Punk at all? Like, that's the result. That's what we doing.
That was whack. Man, my one or two notes.
You can't do a show without Kane, yo. Kane just be popping up at any point in time during this period.
It just
ruining some. Like, yo, you be like, yo, come like Kane, corporate Kane, like, yo, come on, man. Like, this what we doing right now. But the big boot he did give to the cameraman with some heat though. That looked brutal.
Nah, he sucker kicked him.
Yeah, when he kicked the cameraman, I was like, nah, that looked like it would have been kind of fun to, like, if I was in a bad mood and I just went like, get out of here. Like, yo, the cameraman ate that boot, yo. Like that caught me off guard.
Speaking of kicks, man, like I forgot how much of Punk's offense was kick related until like I saw this. Like 45-50% of whatever he tried to get off in this match were kicks to Batista's face. Can't do that anymore, man. Phil ain't that flexible anymore.
Nah, definitely not. He ain't 05, Phil. He
might be able to get that shin, but that's about it.
Yeah. I've never been a Batista guy.
I've always been a Batista guy, yo. I was there through the thumbs up, thumbs down, man. I was like, nah, that's my guy. New Jack.
Batista was always one of those guys where I see people made a big deal out of him, and I did not understand why, and I still don't. Like I watch a Batista match, and I just don't get it.
It was crazy that he was before John Cena and how things ended up going to where they had their feud, where it was just like, yo, I should be where I'm at because I put in the time here. Like you come after me, pause. Like you're my son. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was always dope because it was crazy. I would have never thought Batista would have been where he was at.
Look,
I never would have thought that. But I was watching at the time, bro. I was present during that Royal Rumble win, like and seeing Batista become the monster and becoming the fan favorite. Even the match with Triple H at WrestleMania, like that wasn't the greatest WrestleMania match, but I high key might have enjoyed that match more than this match. Like if I have to go a Batista match, I'll take the Triple H match from WrestleMania 20, his first main event match. I'll take that over this Punk and Batista match. But that's not to say that this is the worst match from either guy. But I will say that Batista's cool, man. Batista was a behemoth. He was a believable giant.
Batista was like I've always correlated that he was the ultimate warrior for this generation. And by ultimate warrior, I mean like that high intensity, like I mean the entrance. Maybe not the best hand in the ring, but like obviously he was better than Warrior, but he brought in he was the warrior, Cena was Hogan. I just feel like with Batista, because of his age, like I feel
you have to move fast. You have to excel Batista. Like Cena could wait a little bit. Batista, you got to go now. Like you the world champ now. Let's go.
Yeah, and I feel like injuries played Batista. With like I think he won shortly after this he got hurt, right?
Yeah, so injuries did him in for a little bit during his time.
And
but crazy fact, he's only been the world champion. I think he held the tag titles a couple times, but he's only been the world champion. He's only been the WWE champion. I don't think he's held any other title in the WWE, which is crazy. Like, what a stat. Like, that's how they treated Batista. Like, before Roman Reigns, there was Dave Batista. Like, my man's never held the Intercontinental US. I could be wrong. Y'all can fact check it. Chat, y'all can correct me on that one, but I'm pretty sure in my Batista knowledge, he's only been a WWE champion and a world heavyweight champion and been treated like the top guy every time you've seen Batista, which is capping his hat, man. Like, this is a feather in his hat. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about that. Like, it's a wild stat. Like, they treat Batista kind of like Kobe. You know what I mean? Like, he's not MJ, but like
championship out the gate, right?
Yeah. He the championship guy. Like,
I don't understand how, bro.
He's like the Intercontinental title. He's like, yo, find a match where I've ever competed for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm Dave Batista. I'm here to win the world title, or I'm not even gonna be here. And if I am, I'm gonna be beating up Rey Mysterio.
What a time.
Yeah, what a time. But yeah, Kane ruined his match. Long story less long. Kane just came in and caned it up, man.
Kane ruins things.
Kane definitely. In modern day, he might actually ruin things still.
Yeah. Kane ruins things. I lied. We have 2 more matches left. We have this New York City parking lot brawl. I love this. The title of the match reminds me of when they hold big events in New Jersey and they say the New York, New Jersey area. Like, no, you're in New Jersey.
You're actually in Long Island.
Yeah, like the New York City brawl. No, you're in Long Island. It's a Long Island brawl.
It's actually not in the city, and it's not even in the street. It's in a parking garage.
The New York Jets, the New York Giants, they're actually the New Jersey Jets and New Jersey Giants, bro. So that was dope. Whatever. I kind of at first didn't understand that John Cena was the guy that moved out of the way of this car. I'm like, am I to believe that John Cena is at this level of Superman? He's just gonna absorb a direct car crash to the face and then show up on pay-per-view. And then they explained that, he got out of the way at the very last minute. I'm like, all right, whatever. But I thought this match was very interesting that they didn't have commentary on the match, by the way. Like, they just let these guys, brawl and didn't have commentary until they came back out in the arena, which I believe that's because it was a pre-tape. But why not have these guys still, throw a couple of comments on while you're watching it with everybody else? It was cool. You know, I think in a real fight, JBL will bust John Cena's ass. I'll tell you
without,
that much.
without question.
Yeah.
This match reminded me why people hated John Cena. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of like John Cena just retired, so we have a lot of revisionists. Don't
Super
get it
Cena.
twisted. People hated John Cena,
Nah,
and
this
this
was peak
match
Super Cena time.
Listen, this the biggest check in the box of why somebody would hate Cena is he lost this match and they played his music. I was like, man,
yeah, like
he
the
lost,
whole
but hit the music. We yeah. Like, what's up?
the whole
Boy,
dramatics of him, like after the like having JBL throwing him through the glass, and then the whole dramatics, like, oh, my elbow. Let me just look at the crowd real quick.
Yeah, yo, you got a couple
yeah, the
papers.
stare at the
Man,
crowd was
get your
crazy.
ass
You
up,
just
hit the next town, brother.
nah, it was actually wavy because this match was before its time when it came to like cinematic matches. You know what I mean? The way they chopped and screwed this match.
Yep.
I thought this was peak Cena, Super Cena Batman because my man got put through a window and no blood popped up. Shawn Michaels got punched in the forehead and he was gushing blood
Yeah,
for
right.
what felt like the entire match, and it was only about half of it. So it was like Cena did a lot of Super Cena things here where it was just like, oh, come on. Like, this was what I remember right before I checked out after his Shawn Michaels feud the year prior. I was like, yo, dog, the car's set on fire. You're busting through the door. I'm watching Batman right now.
Yep.
Dark Knight's about to come out. This makes mad sense. Like, yeah, John Cena's a superhero. All right,
Yeah, this
cool.
is Great American Bash produced by DC Comics.
Oh, man. Man.
So that's basically what that match turned into. I've seen them have better matches, and I want to say their match from Judgment Day 2005, where Cena retained the WWE Championship. I think it was an I Quit match. That was bloody, and that was a fire match. So
Not
definitely a match to check out. Like if y'all want to check into John Cena JBL history, is their second encounter after Cena won the WWE title. That was heat. This match caught me off guard. I didn't know where they reconnected. I thought it was dope though to see some flashbacks and some callbacks when I jumped into this era, like from Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho to JBL and Cena. I was like, oh, it's kind of dope. Like,
Some
wow,
classic pairings.
from the era where I was like, where I knew where this feud originated from. So that's actually really
Yeah.
dope to see. Like, that's where y'all at right now if we jump in it. So that was cool. That was cool. Cool nostalgia match. Typical Cena-ish. But that's not the main event though.
Oh God.
You got a doozy for y'all.
Listen.
Fellas, my notes stopped at the previous match.
We could run through that main event because we ain't really about to deep dive on that
I thought it was just so
on that
whack,
Carvel
man.
Classic. The Carvel Classic.
Everything about this, like everything about this was terrible. I hated Edge. I hated Triple H. I hated Vicky Guerrero. I hated Alicia Fox. I hated the referee. I hated the commentary. I hated the fact that we were still using the spinner title. Like,
yeah, worst belt. Worst belt for anyone that's not John Cena. Like Triple H with that belt was so uncool.
so you know how like people say like Edge is like one of the best heels of all time. There's an argument that Edge is also one of the worst heels of all time. Like Edge's demeanor can be so scummy, but in a way that like it's not like an MJF, right? It's
not even Christian.
yeah, like he's can be a good heel when he's like a vicious heel. Like scummy Edge is absolutely trash.
Dirtbag, like complete dirtbag, yo.
And then putting him against another dirtbag, right?
Who's a babyface?
Triple H as a babyface.
Triple H should never have been a babyface.
That was a wavy period. That's how I knew I checked out of wrestling because Triple H is having a babyface run of all times right now.
Yeah, like Triple H should never be like he wasn't cool in V2 of DX. Like he just never understood. Like there are no redeemable qualities about this guy where I should be cheering for him. He's not cool. He's a dweeb.
Triple H as the babyface during this period was like them trying to capture his Monday Night Raw return in a bottle and trying to have it happen for a 3-year span.
Listen, you saw what they did when the what do you call it? The little light stick version of DX.
Oh,
They ran that into the ground. That was all corny.
Oh my goodness, you're right. I was there for that. I really seen it.
Yeah, I saw clips of
Spirit
that. And
Squad.
glad I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, Spirit Squad and the match with Vince McMahon and God. Yeah, that was a rough time for WWE. Yo. I ordered that pay-per-view. I'm sick. I had to just tell that out loud to the wrestling communities. I ordered a pay-per-view.
Yo,
I think my mom.
I think the statute of pay-per-view purchases is not up. If you still got the receipt, if you can find it, you might be able to get your $39.99 back, bro.
I asked my mom if I could really order a pay-per-view where Vince McMahon was tag teaming with God to face Shawn Michaels.
Look, brother, I will take you one step.
It was a featured match.
I would take
WWE is a crazy product in this time, yo.
I was in Scotland when DX main evented the I think it was Vengeance against the Spirit Squad.
The Spirit Squad.
You gotta remember, if I'm in the UK, like I'm 5 hours ahead, so I'm staying up to watch it. Like we like at 2 a.m. and I'm watching DX in 2006 against the Spirit Squad. Like, bro,
Kenny Dykstra was the main event, son. Mike Chiodos was the main event. I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Mike Mundo.
Yeah, Mike Mundo was the main event, yo. I really seen it. When I say I really seen it, yo, I swear I was there. I was really sitting up at I was right there with you, Scott. I was there. I was watching Raw, watching the fast forward. Triple H ain't much better at this time period either. He's the WWE champion. Randy Orton is out.
Yeah,
was he injured?
Injured.
Oh, okay.
Injured. A lot of injury bugs happening around this time.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely felt.
He was injured. Undertaker was banished from WWE at the time, so he was on his own summer break, basically.
Wait, from WWE?
Yeah, from WWE.
What was the issue there?
He lost to Edge, so he was not able to be any part of the WWE at all.
I remember that. He lost a TLC match?
Yes, he lost a TLC match, and he was gone. This is right before the pay-per-view too, so he had to leave, and that's pretty much where he came back towards the end of the summer. Because once Vicky and Edge had the explosion, she was like, "Yeah, so in order to get my payback on you, I'm gonna reinstate the Undertaker, and you're gonna have a match with him in Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. Have at it, bud." So that's where we spun off with Edge post this match, because he moved to SmackDown, I believe, or he moved to Raw. He moved to Raw or SmackDown, one or the other, because of the draft. But otherwise, it's the only real takeaways from this match. This was like the send everyone home happy house show main event, I guess, vibes, because
this should have been like the way that they used to do, and I don't know if they still do or not, but the Saturday night's main event where you got the world title, the main event is like the third match of the night, and then you got intermission, and then another couple of matches. This should have been there. Just put it there.
Yeah.
And let's end this off. Imagine ending this show with the Jericho Michaels match. Even the parking lot brawl, ending with that. At least this was not it. You know what I mean?
Nah, this was definitely one of the worst like WWE title matches I've seen. I could add in my list of worst WWE title matches that I've ever seen.
Like, and then the credits. Like I was like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Yo, it's crazy. I was thinking the same thing. I was just like, yo, this is the end of the show. Like, I just came off that Jericho match, the Batista Punk, even the parking lot brawl was just different from everything I've seen tonight, whether I cared for it or not. But then it was just like this match was just by the numbers.
Yeah.
By the numbers is what popped in my head watching this match, down to every move that I knew both of them would predictably do, because
they
hit all the hits.
Yeah, they have terrible chemistry too. Like Edge and Triple H were never compatible
at all, yo. It's crazy. I was like, yo, I don't think I've ever seen them have a match of this main event caliber. I don't think I ever want to see them have a match of this main event caliber ever.
Because now that I think about it, like, to be fair, neither Edge nor Triple H are really that spectacular in the ring. They're good when they're in there with guys better, and I think they wrestle up to that quality at times. But they're never really the guy who's going to elevate somebody worse than them. So you got two guys that kind of play the same role in matches often. That's probably why all those matches were just
The crowd didn't know how to react.
There was nothing for either of them to wrestle up to.
In hindsight, like if we were to like kind of rewind the clock back and like redo this match, the better main event probably would have been Triple H and the Undertaker, and then like you somehow have Edge involved in the finish of it, but like at least Triple H and Undertaker had a chemistry, you know what I mean, that we would see later on.
Triple H had to wrestle up to Taker.
Right. This was just very much like everybody just did not play their part correctly. Like nobody, like everybody was miscast in this.
I want to say this was a pivot from the Randy Orton injury. I think this happened amongst that injury because they're supposed to keep going amongst their feud, but they had a botch in a match, and I think Orton like tore his bicep or his shoulder or something. So that took him out of commission, and then they literally just pulled the rug with the Undertaker having to get banished. So they were like, "All right, well, we got to make moves fast." So Edge, Triple H, let's see what we can do here. Carvel Classic.
It's gonna be you and Cope.
Yeah, it's gonna be Hunter and Cope, ladies and gentlemen.
Hunter and Cope.
That's what this
Cope is Long Island.
This was Cope and Mox. This was Adam Copeland and Moxley years before.
Would I wanted to have seen another Triple H Randy Orton match if this was the alternative? At this point, after seeing this match, yeah, why not? Whatever. It would have been another match in the Triple H Randy Orton saga, but it probably would have had more intensity than this.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the Nassau Coliseum Classics.
Great American Bash 08. One more in the bucket.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Overall, like, would you guys watch this show again on your own?
I will never watch
is there anything? I think outside of I would watch the Jericho Michaels match again.
Absolutely.
I'd seek that out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would seek that out.
But I'd cut to strictly just the highlights of how we got here, the backstory, the lead up, and then right to the match. Like I'm not watching the show.
Yeah, like I think the two most notable things, for better or worse, was that match and the fact that this was the first Divas title match.
Yep.
Sure. I'll add for the significant that this being the last TV 14.
Yeah.
So essentially, this show was the end of the Ruthless Aggression era because the PG era. So that would be my significance to this show.
Yeah,
I go with you right there with that one, Scott. I think
how bad did it get after this, man?
No blood.
The PG era almost killed my love for the game. That's probably the longest. The PG era is the longest I've gone without watching wrestling.
Like I said, man, the Miz was WWE champion, y'all. That's when I came back to the game.
Mike Mizanin
brought me back to the dance, man.
All right, two pieces of business before we get out of here. Chad, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more on my list. We have 5 more Nassau Coliseum shows. I know we're holding on, pardon me, it's 6. We're holding on WrestleMania until we get closer. I don't want to hit SummerSlam 02 yet. So we're down to, we have WWE Fatal 4-Way from 2010, June 2010. Okay. We have Evolution 2018. We have AEW World's End in 2023. We got Saturday night's main event from a couple of years ago, 2024. Where are we going next?
I'll ponder on that one.
All right, we'll get back. We'll figure out what the next episode in this series is. And yeah, Scott.
Real quick, fellas, I just want to get y'all hot take before we wrap up. What's the over under on do we see Brody King have sustainability in wrestling moving forward?
Yes.
2026.
Sustainability for sure.
Yeah.
Like, do we think we see Brody King like have longevity and he's gonna be on TV and things are gonna be all right? Do we feel good? Do we feel good about that?
For the time.
We don't feel like we're gonna see the plug get pulled on Brody King.
I'm not. That's possible.
It's a 50-50. If the conversation is about, especially because they're in the middle of a sale, like Warner Brothers right now is in the middle of a sale, so you never know, man. Corporate is corporate is going to do what corporate does. They will throw anybody under the bus at any given time for $1, right? So, there were rumblings a couple of weeks ago about the call of Brody King not being on TV, being a WBD call. That was debunked, but you never know if you can even believe the debunk. At the end of the day, I think there's a very small percentage of the AEW company that is owned by WBD. It's still majority owned by Khan or the Khan family. If Khan has his way, I feel like he's the type of guy that's going to ride with him. You know what I mean? Like he did. If he can come out in the F Ice shirts when he did, which was a long time ago, and then still come out after the chance, and he's still in the thing. Like, I think Tony Khan is probably going to ride with him, but it's one of those things where you never know. Like, Tony Khan is also a guy who is trying to play nice because he wants that next check to be better than the last check that he got.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I think, those chants are not going away. There's always going to be those chants that happen across seas. It happened on this last episode of Dynamite.
This last episode. It's crazy when you just see the booking. Like the way they're booking Brody King now, I'm like, they're announcing his date ahead of time. I had to check. I was like, is this a collision? I was like, oh, it's a Dynamite.
That's the thing. Like,
that Brody King is
the one thing I will say about good written TV or movies or anything, there's never anything that happens that you see on screen that doesn't happen for a reason. You know what I mean? It's to maybe put a pin in it and come back to it later. Maybe it happens sooner rather than later, but whatever. If we're getting Brody King, like how expensive TV time is, Brody King is right there saying, nah, I'm going to get back into the world title picture. This ain't the end of it. Him and Bandito was still buddy. Like, there's still that. I don't think there's no reason that we see Brody King on television. You know what I mean? So I think they're still going to ride with him. Like, why, if it's a 50-50 decision, but I'm going to be 60-40 optimistic that Brody King is still good money.
I feel the removal of Brody King at any point would have such a crazy ripple in pro wrestling, right? Because then you would have to factor in, like, if WBD makes the call and Tony has to let him go, like, that's going to cause fans to.
Oh yeah,
there's going to cause like issues with people watching AEW, and then you factor in like the likelihood WWE would not pick up Brody King,
definitely not,
because of what their stance is. So that essentially Brody King would retire. I mean, he probably would do like
he gets a Colin Kaepernick type of wave.
Yeah. I'm very curious because I want to see if they put Brody King on Revolution being in Los Angeles, right? In fact, I would pivot. You know what I mean? I know that, like, Tony Khan's got his plans. I would absolutely put Brody and Bandito in the tag team title match, right? Because if you put Brody and Bandito in that match in LA, that's going to be your biggest pop that entire night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to strike while, like, fuck you, or excuse me, I apologize. I apologize. You have to strike while the iron is hot, right? You is absolutely, like, I was one advocating for Brody King to win the world title,
beat MJF.
Yeah,
I'd have thrown them plans up for whatever the plans are. Throw them out. We're going with Brody right now.
Like, and in fact, the most definitive statement they could have done without being direct with it, because I know, like, I see what they're doing. Like, they're not they're gonna let the chance rock, but they're not gonna acknowledge it. Like, you know what I mean? That the Las Vegas joint was like probably a once in a lifetime thing you're gonna see with that, right? But if they had done Brody King versus Andrade for the AEW World Title at Revolution in LA, that would have probably been your most definitive statement on this stance.
Mm-hmm.
It would have attracted so much to the product, right? But
that's so clever. I really like it.
But then again, this is coming from, like I said, like the higher ups. They didn't want Jay Briscoe.
And to be fair, like, 100%. Like,
I don't think wavy.
Yeah, wavy, I think everybody is trying to. They're trying to walk the line more so than anybody taking a stance. You know what I mean? Like, if like you mentioned earlier, if they get to a point where they're censoring the chants or they're removing Brody off of TV, like that backlash is horrible on the other side. Now you're pissing off your fan base, like a clearly much more liberal fan base than the WWE,
Pretty much.
at least the WWE target. So if you're gonna piss them, like you can't piss. So they, I think, like
Definitely
the reality is that they're walking the line more so than really picking a side. We our hands are tied, so we don't want to look like we're taking a side. We don't want to look like we're taking them off TV. We don't want to look like we're promoting, anti-ice or whatever. So
Watching Brody's promo last night on Dynamite, I thought two things. One, what better way of having Brody King be, the face of the F-Ice movement and be the national champion by feuding with Ricochet and having singles gold? Because there is a singles title that he could still have. He could be a national champion.
There's 19 singles championships. You can get one of them.
He can have a belt, because the main event scene, as much as I would love to see Brody King move up, right now it's locked into where it's locked into. Yeah. And Brody's already had his shot.
And it's popping too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Brody, you lost. So back of the line you go for right now. And the other is the unfortunate path is that turn on Bandito.
You cannot do that turn.
That's
coming.
You cannot.
That is how I think.
Yeah, you cannot do that turn.
I think that's how they cut.
But nobody's gonna boo Brody.
That's how I think they cut this.
Nobody's gonna boo him. That would be like I if they were gonna do that, it should have happened a few months ago. I think it was the wrong move then. It's definitely the wrong move now because nobody's gonna boo him.
If he turns up and beats up Bandito,
nobody is booing. They'll boo Bandito for getting beat up.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about it. I was like, man, you think they really boo Bandito? Like, yo, why you even fighting Brody? Like, what's wrong with you? Why you in his way?
Soft, bro.
Why you in his way? You holding him up. You Brody right. You holding him up. That would be a crazy turn of events if that's how it went.
Yeah.
But the crowd was like,
we're gonna have Brody was right t-shirts.
I will say the idea of
F-Ice Brody
hitting the 21 plex on Brody would be a tough visual.
It's tough for him to hit it on Darby. So
it's one of the waviest moves that I don't need to see as a finisher. But lastly, there's been rumblings. I don't know when we're gonna have we might have our next pod probably by the time Elimination Chamber happens. We'll see. If we don't, I wanted to bring this up. There's rumblings that as of today that Finn Balor could be the next World Heavyweight Champion.
Why?
Interim to spice things up, and because there's 2 months. And as I was talking, I feel like AO and I feel like we spoke about this. I was like, yo, there's literally like that promo with Roman and Punk was so good that you forget that like he about to go home. Like he about to be gone for a month and a half. Like
I was just saying that, like we about to see how good Punk really is if he can keep interest in this feud for the next 2 months on his own.
So
I do like the idea of Finn winning the world title and playing up the fact that he's beaten Punk and Roman, right? So do you make it a triple threat?
No, it would be a transitional.
Drop the title and
Punk gets it back. It would just be something to boost the energy in the product on Raw right now, according to Fightful.
I you know what? I'd break my 3-week hiatus for that.
I like it. I would do it.
I thought that was if there was anything that I saw hit the webs today, I was like, that's actually kind of I'm with that. That's actually pretty nice. I'm with that. I'm cool with that. Finn deserves a title run at least, even for a couple weeks. Y'all gave Jey Uso a couple days. Why not give Finn Balor a couple days as well, too, man?
And Chicago would go crazy for it, too.
That's why they were doing it. And because there's already AJ Lee, Becky, it's like you could either go both of them be champions or one of them be champions or none of them be champions.
Listen, like the Finn Balor title win over Punk in Chicago
is a moment.
Reaction, man.
Is a moment.
You feel me? So for no other reason, I would do that.
That's a moment. So I'm on board with that. I hope that's the way we see things going. I'm on board with this, like spicing things up and listening to the top guys. Drew McIntyre got to have his way. He said, "Yo, listen, it's time, man. They losing faith in me, dog. How many times I'm gonna lose, man?
Yeah.
Put the belt on me." Finn, it's gonna be cool. It'll be kind of crazy to see Judgment Day with the world title again, but Finn deserves it, man. Damian Priest had the world title when he led Judgment Day. Let Finn have the world title and lead Judgment Day.
We got to get away from Judgment Day.
Like, it's not happening, man. It's like Degrassi, bro. Right. Degrassi next generation, man.
Oh, my days.
They're going to be recruiting the NXT. The NXT portion of Judgment Day is going to be wavy, son.
Brother, I had just started growing these out when the Judgment Day had formed. Like, just started. Like that's a problem.
Man said I was bald.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my days, man. No.
Wild times. Scott, man.
Fellas.
Appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
much, brother. Got coming up rest of the week. I know you got the pod on Sunday.
Yeah, this next week is a heavy week. We got 3 loaded episodes. You know, BGW will be back in full force with chamber predictions and obviously talking about what's been going on in the world, including Kevin Nash tripping. Then Tuesday,
Bojangles.
That's the name of the episode, Bojangles.
It's crazy. I rock with that. I know Nash don't even give it up like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, he not even on that type of time. You know what I mean? So, but he definitely he didn't need to type that out at all. He was bugging with that.
And I'm sure somebody was encouraging him, but we gonna talk about it. Tuesday we will be back with the watch list. Myself, Chaz, Heartbreak Julio, and we will be doing a retrospective on the career of the All-American Ron Simmons from his days at Florida State with the at Florida State to Doom to the iconic world title win in 1992, being the first African-American wrestler to win the WCW World Heavyweight title, to the transition into the Nation of Domination, to, you know, just his importance to pro wrestling. So we'll be covering that. And then next Wednesday will be the locker room lead with Lorenzo. We'll be having the good people over at that freaking wrestling podcast. So yeah, we got a heavy week. We coming back swinging.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
My Ron Simmons note is that the way that we call the Arn Anderson spine buster, the Arn Anderson spine buster, we should call anytime somebody does that version that Ron Simmons made popular, it should be called the Ron Simmons spine buster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The best spine buster to me.
100%.
Spine on the pond.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I appreciate you, brother, for, you know, obviously I always appreciate our brotherhood. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love
every trip
with y'all, man. Like anytime y'all need a third party for this, please call me. I'm always available, bro.
Next time we watch a bad pay-per-view, bro, we got you.
You see our list. Don't worry. We've got Fatal 4-Way 2010.
Hey, look, that one, like, if you want me to come on, that was during the time I was not watching, so I've never seen that show. So I didn't even know they had a pay-per-view called Fatal 4-Way.
Me either.
Good time, honestly. We'll get more into that as that show comes.
Yeah, man. We'll figure out what the next episode in this series is, and therefore the next episode of the Ringside Club. We do have something cooking, that a new little format that we're talking about and playing around with for socials, and that should be coming pretty soon. But yeah, man, either if it's not next week, we'll be back the week after. This has been the Ringside Club.
Also, hey, yo, don't forget, you know where we at tomorrow?
Oh, we're House of Glory. We at House of Glory tomorrow.
Y'all going to House of Glory. Oh, yeah.
Andrade is there. MJF is there.
It's MJF and Zilla for the
Zilla 5-2.
Yeah, okay.
Thirsty.
What? It's Andrade and Charles Mason?
Yes.
Yep, Charles Mason is there. I'm looking at we got private parties back in the building too.
I
mean, so that's gonna be a good time. Shouts to Ron. He's gonna be in the building as well.
Peace to my bro Ron, man. Happy belated as well too, man.
The legend.
That's gonna be a good time, man. House of Glory, Ringside Club in the building. I promise not to stream an entire match and almost get our YouTube channel pulled again.
CEO.
I just
shut it down.
whatever you record, you can just send to me. I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like we good.
I'm gonna just clips this time, man.
Yeah,
I put the
way
whole
me too.
Mercedes match up there.
My man's was literally just on just on the chill shit. Just it's like, yo, word. I'm just yeah, man. I'm trying to record right now.
Yo, I put the whole joint up, and then like it was one thing to live stream, and nothing happened. Then I got arrogant. Then I said, yo, I'm gonna just take the video that I live stream and upload it in the morning. And I'm looking, it's like, yo, we had like 10,000 views.
Yo, that joint was booming, dog.
Then the email came in. It's like, oh nah, I can't do that. You shouldn't.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation.
Really bad, man. Really bad.
Man. This has been the Ringside Club for the good brother Scott, for the good brother Chad Law. My name is AO. You out of here. Peace, man.